We'll call the Pownal Select Board meeting to order on Thursday, April 10th at 7 p.m. The agenda approval of the minutes of 4/3/14, warrants, mail, transfer station supervisory monthly board meeting, old business, Kate Wayner, Bill Gale, Green Mountain National Forest land acquisition, truck bid, and lawn mowing bid awards. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion and accept the agenda, approve the agenda.
Get a second?
Second.
Any other thing to be added? Yes, would you like something to be added?
Yes. My name's Walter Clark. I'm the chief of the Pownal Valley Fire Department. I'd like to talk a few minutes about water supply and stuff down in North Pownal,
Dry hydrants and
dry
things?
hydrant systems. I have a grant application and I'd like to talk to the board about it.
We'll put it on the agenda,
Thank you.
down dry hydrant. For the new business. With that added, is everybody in approval, say aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of 4/3/14,
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Warrants. One here I can sign. Accounts payable. In the amount of, ending 4/11/2014, in the amount of $13,379.12.
So moved.
I'll do them all. Then we can
Okay.
It's only a couple, I think. I'll hold off on this.
Okay.
That one. Payroll ending 4/11/14 in the amount of $6,507.07.
So moved.
Okay, I got a motion to approve
Second.
those. Got a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, I have a, she got this down in here. No, so it's gonna be in here. Accounts payable number 41A for 4/12/14 in the amount of $15,000. This is a Vermont Economic Grant disbursement. What's your pleasure?
So move.
Get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on it?
I approved it. I wasn't a part of it. But if it doesn't get approved, I think it's something that needs to happen from the previous board approval.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, with their, okay, they basically, from my understanding, is they approved to go forward with the grant and that the town would support
That
this.
is correct.
Correct.
Okay, and here we're just approving the
Yeah.
disbursement of those funds because they came in. They were awarded by the state.
And they had to have matching funds, which they had through donation fulfilled the requirement.
Okay,
I always
So-
gotta say something.
go ahead.
Well, I tell you, I would like to have Ronnie just speak on that a little bit. I know that was not something he voted for in the past. I believe I'm correct on this, but I would like to have him make a statement on it.
If you
Just
wish,
for the record, if he would. If he doesn't want to, let it go.
that's, like I said,
Okay.
that's his call if he wishes
Okay.
to.
The only thing I got to say is I didn't agree with it because I feel that it isn't a town movement. That's all.
Okay.
That,
That's good,
thanks.
okay,
I appreciate that.
okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions, or,
I got to abstain, I guess. I didn't prove it.
okay,
That's a minute.
okay. Mail. Oh, he did sneak in here. I say the person next is here. Okay, I have a bunch of certificates for no appeal on suit pending. This is the end of some hearings that was done through the listers and appeals. And we have to sign off with their closing out. What's your pleasure on these? See if they have a name on any of them.
There will be no name because you're signing off that there are, as of right now, no pending suits.
Okay,
That's what we're signing off on, am I correct?
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Right.
okay. Okay, what's your pleasure?
So,
Move to sign.
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll let that start and then come up this way because I'll go on with some of the rest of the stuff while we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, bring it back down through if you want.
Yeah. Tobacco license renewal, for Pownal Market in Delhi.
Move to sign.
Get a second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Okay. Tobacco license renewal application for the same next door beer and wine. Brother.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right. Back this way, I guess that's what he, if they come back to you, then you sign, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you
well, I
want?
sign. I'll put them
Okay,
over there. You
all right.
guys go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Okay, oh, there's another one. Check that. Okay. Liquor license renewal application for
Yeah,
American
you got-
Legion
just
Post
pass them
90.
down and then
What's
they
your
can-
pleasure?
So move.
Get a second for that?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have a flyer from the Bennington County Regional Commission. They're having an annual meeting on Thursday, May 15th at 5:30 PM in at the Willow Pond. They're going to have a feature speaker there that will be talking about town plans. She's a nationally acclaimed planner and author, photographer. If any of the board wishes to attend this, they should let Linda know. I will be attending this, so I will not be at the May 15th meeting. In the past, a number of the board members have gone to these. We found them to be interesting and informative. So if other members wish to go, take a good look at it. If you decide, let Linda know, and you can go from there, but it's May 15th. And if enough members end up signing up, then we'll have to not hold a meeting that night, but hold it the following week. But that's up to you guys. Okay. Second, FEMA has sent us a letter to do with the second appeal period for the Bennington County, Vermont countywide study. This is an upcoming appeal to changes to the BFE, which is basically the base flood elevation and the delineation of the special flood hazard area. The area inundated by base flood to include Zone A and Zone AE are now subject to formal appeals. During the appeal period, if community officials or others are interested, parties may submit scientific or technical information that would serve to refute the proposed flood hazard data on firms. Should taken, probably the best thing to do, Linda, is to leave a copy of this here, and if somebody wishes to come up and pick up, you can give them a copy on the FEMA appeal process.
It's posted in the front because it is required to go to the town clerk for formal posting.
Okay, so it's posted in the front, and I'm sure that if somebody wished to make a copy, they'll be able to, and gather all the information versus me reading everything that's here. But if you were one of the people that were notified that you were in the flood zone and you have not been in the past and you have been asking questions about it, this is a good way to gather more information. And if you go through an appeal process, this will also help you with that. We've had a couple members come to the planning board, or people from the outside asking about their FEMA, because the floodplain has changed, the area has. Okay. We have two people that are interested in the planning. One is Pete Dewey, and I think we appointed him last already.
Yeah.
So he's there.
That must be accepted, is that
He
what it?
has accepted.
Okay.
Great,
okay,
good
okay.
news.
Yeah.
And then Donald Loveland has also shown an interest. He actually talks about, he's semi-retired, he wants to get involved with the town government, and he wished to be considered in any place I can be useful, possibly as an alternate on the zoning board, is what he says. So, what were the other vacant positions? We had the BCRC, didn't we?
Yes.
We might want to talk to him about the BCRC position, because Walter was looking for somebody to go, because he said any place,
Okay.
and that might be a good start for him.
Yeah.
Could we,
Why don't, well.
could we get a
give 'em
motion, can we get a motion? for-
I move we'll give him a choice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, move
don't know how else to
him
say
to appoint him, and if he doesn't
Yeah.
accept, then,
Okay.
okay, so I get,
Second it.
you made
Yeah.
a motion to
Yeah.
appoint him to the
Yeah,
BCRC?
yeah.
Second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Could you contact him and then tell him what that position is and what, I think they meet, what, once a month
Or more.
or more? Okay. Good. That's that. That's this stuff I put in there. The only thing I didn't sign was that one big stack, which I'll get later. Okay, transfer station supervisor. Come on up.
First thing, Green Up Day is May 3rd. The materials aren't here yet. They should be on their way. They get here like between a week and two ahead of time. And the thing I'd like to emphasize on that, there's other entities out there that are encouraging youth to participate. And I did it last year. The people get a hold of me and they need me to sign some paperwork, you know, once the kids have done their Green Up Day
Yeah, okay,
duties and
yeah.
whatnot, and I'm more than happy to do that. So
Okay.
that's something that seems to be fairly new
What
out
was
there.
it? Was it? Years ago, we used to have like 4-H'ers or something,
Right.
or kids or something. It didn't matter, I guess.
No,
does it?
no, anybody that wants.
Whoever will do it.
It's just there's like a ski area or something offers kids passes
That's
or
right,
whatever.
that's
to
right,
get
yeah,
involved.
that's great.
You know,
No, I think that's a good thing, that's,
The other thing is May 10th is Hazardous Household Waste Day. And I'll have more information on that. I'll have flyers put together and it'll be posted here. It'll be posted over at the transfer station and it will be posted in all stores in town, pretty much all of them. The big thing that I'd like to emphasize on that is because of the new paint care law, in the past, Hazardous Household Waste Day, we would not take latex paint. What they've done is encourage people to dry it up and throw it in the trash. And now, with this new paint law that's going into effect in the spring, they don't want that anymore. So, especially Hazardous Household Waste Day, I would encourage people to bring all and any paint that they can, especially if the labels are not legible. Because what's going to happen, I'm sure Sherwin and Williams is going to be one of the places that you can take it regular. But in order to take it there, they it has to be legible or the label has to be on it. Otherwise, they don't really know if it's paint that's in there or whether it's epoxy or
yeah,
whatever.
right.
So,
right.
I really encourage people to, if they want to get rid of paint, to bring
Even
it.
Latex?
Yes, yep, even latex.
And does it have to
paint.
be dried up?
No.
Nothing now.
Okay.
Before you
No,
did, right?
because
Is that what you said?
Before.
You had to.
We wouldn't take latex at Hazardous Household Waste Day,
Right.
and that's a big change now.
Okay.
And so,
I wanna go back to Green Up Day.
yep.
There's a couch in Darkwood's corner or a chair or something that's there now. There's a toilet that's been thrown over the bank there on Green Up Day. Do we have anybody that we actually send around to pick this stuff up on Green Up Days, or do we just have a place where people can pile it up and have someone,
No.
some of these bigger items? How do we manage that?
Well, I think
Didn't you
Green,
used to have the people pick up the bags if they couldn't bring them to the transfer station?
I-
You guys would get them around somehow
Yeah,
or
I think
another?
that Donnie
Town
worked with
truck.
the road crew on that.
Right, and they get a.
Right now, I've had,
We
if
used to
people,
do
if
100
people
years ago.
contact me, like the constable, about 5 weeks ago, there was a number of
cartons thrown over the bank and whatnot. And I went and picked that up. It was paint and all different kinds of stuff. So somewheres, I would assume that we'd be able to work that out between us at the transfer station and the road crew people. And
What we, right,
well, we have a month.
okay, but what,
Yeah.
really, what do we need? We need a truck and a
Truck.
driver?
yep,
Yeah, and two people so that they can pick up the larger items and
unless
throw
they
it.
get into heavier stuff, then they might need a piece of equipment. But
Okay,
I
okay.
would say,
Okay.
yeah.
Most cases, two people in a truck.
I know, years back, the road department, I went around and picked it up. I don't know if they're, you don't have a truck, right?
My own.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant,
Yeah.
but the transfer station.
And you know, if we can
There's
help.
some tires
if we
at
can
the
help out
you-
with-
cemetery,
would,
there's a
right?
bunch of stuff
Yeah.
out there.
Sure.
What happened is the snow is going away now,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and,
Oh, yeah.
this stuff is all showing up,
Yeah.
you know, and, I actually got a call about down in Pownal Village itself where there's a mess that I gotta go look at. But that I haven't seen yet, but I did see the chair, I did see the other, I saw some tires, different things that, I don't know if these people that are going with their bags, picking up the cans and the little coffee cups and stuff, are gonna be picking up that larger stuff. That stuff, if they can get it to the road, then we should probably find a way to get it picked up.
Well, years past, we used to encourage people, if they didn't have a truck or something, they'd bag it up in them green bags and we'd send a truck around.
Well, side
Because they
road.
didn't have a way and they got a nice new car, they don't want to throw that stuff in their
No,
car. They don't
no, I agree, Ron.
Are you-
Yeah.
if the
yeah.
board's
That's what we used to do, I mean.
Are you, is the board willing to do that now? Because then we got a month.
I
and
moved,
then we can plan.
I moved that now, we might as well let people know that, hey, listen, if it's side the road, you're gonna, start passing out bags as soon as you get them.
Yep.
So that, or wherever you're
They'll
gonna
be here and they'll
disperse
be over
somewhere,
at
right,
transfer
okay.
station.
So people can pile up
And
on
as
it.
long as that's alongside the road, the only thing we have, I don't know at the moment is when to say we're gonna make this, pickup.
But we can do that within the next month.
So you can figure out the day you're gonna,
Right, well, that's where
that we're gonna send the town to pick this stuff up.
I think we should also talk to the road foreman about this as well. We have a month, and just to make sure that the trucks and manpower and everything is available on the date,
Yeah,
so decided.
yeah. Well, the people could actually pick up one day and then we could go around another day, which is.
Green Up Day is the 3rd, what's that, a Saturday?
Yes.
So we wouldn't pick up till Monday anyway. Right.
That's what I'm
So,
thinking.
yeah.
That's simple
Yeah.
enough.
Well,
But let-
I'll make the motion that, I'm gonna make the motion that, we'll turn this, as far as this pickup, over to the, road department. And if there's any kind of a problem at all, he can contact us, and then we'll discuss it. That's my motion.
Can I get a second
I'll
to that?
second that.
Okay. All right, and again, what we're looking for that to be done on is on the regular Monday
Yes.
after, okay? Just so when we speak to the road foreman, if he has a
I
problem, he
mean,
might
if
have
he has
some.
a problem with it, then I think we can, so
can
that
bring it
way
up.
it's kinda,
I just know that, based on what I've seen, there's gonna be some big items,
well, okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. The next item, and it's a meeting that I'm not gonna be able to attend because of staffing issues. It's just April 16th, and it's up in Montpelier. Michael Bratcher, he's the one that sent me this, he'll be going to it, and he has quite a key role to play. And what this is involved with is Act 148 and some of the implementations of it. And I guess I should read part of this. I am attaching 2 items. This is from Michael. The first is S-208, which passed the Senate. It has a number of provisions regarding solid waste, including provisions on construction and demolition debris. The definition of a hauler, the Waste Management Assistance Fund to help with infrastructure improvements, changes in the franchise tax, and other issues. I'm writing you to suggest you look at sections 10 and 11. The original S-208 had a provision that would have required all towns to join a solid waste management district. And this version is they're going to study it and try to come up with a decision on December 15th. The issue that I had a concern about, and I think other towns and meetings I've been to with a solid waste district, they have a taxing authority. And I don't know how much influence our town would have on such a, and I think this has come up before, because if they set up a solid waste district like up in Chittenden County, virtually everything goes through them. And they control all the pricing. I mean, you have to take everything. The other thing that I see in here, because they've got an agenda here, is, and what I read in there is with construction materials. Part of, well, and this is, the other part is, how do you plan on meeting the requirements of Act 148 and Materials Management Plan? Because the construction materials, they do not want to landfill it anymore. They want to sort it out and take out all the materials. Now, and the other goals is they're going to look at, like the way we operate now. We got certain recyclables and whatnot, and we're set up for that. Now on construction debris, we just put it in one container. Now our hauler, or at least one of them, does sort these materials. So I guess where I'm going is down the road, what is our responsibility going to be over there? Whether we're going to have more containers or whether we can satisfy Act 148 with our hauler sorting these materials, you see. So, like I say, this meeting is April 16th, which isn't a whole lot of time. And like I say, Michael has been working with the towns, because we're right presently in what they call a SWIP. And it's a little awkward for some things to function in that opposed to a solid waste district. I think a solid waste district is more simplified, but my concern is to have taxing authority. You know?
Well, to satisfy, how are we gonna satisfy this 148? I guess, I think that you just said it. I think that, we're gonna send it to, a plant that's, whoever that might be, that separates this stuff, material, and it's a plan.
Yeah, well, I think that it's,
I mean,
right now, it's,
or you can have, how many different
Well-
barrels do you need here?
Well,
Or
the-
roll-offs, it's in
well,
barrels.
I think what Hap's saying is, that's what the legislature's trying to determine now, whether you can, as a person accepting it, can do what you just said.
Right.
Or are we gonna be forced into
Well-
doing the individual? And if we're forced into doing the individual, I think if I was up there, my comment would be is, if you're gonna force this town as an individual to do that, we no longer can accept construction debris. And it's that legal to do.
And there's, yes, well,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
that's where we've
That's
applied.
okay.
If we have to
I'll
have,
go along with that.
if we have to
I
have-
just don't wanna.
if we have to have 15 bins,
No, I don't.
we couldn't keep it
I don't
dry.
wanna go that route. I mean, that's up to, everybody to discuss this,
And
but,
this is, I mean, this is part of, it's early and we can speculate a lot, but the other thing that's been done is Manchester was the lead in applying for a grant that Michael was gonna work with the towns to help us comply with Act 148.
right.
And in part of that, what we have discussed is, all right, what sections of this do we meet and how well do we meet it? And then what else do we have to
Yeah, well,
do to.
right. Well, I just think that,
If you read this 208, when it talks about tires and all kinds of stuff in there, it's for the whole state. It's, if you got somebody, and you've seen in some towns where an individual's got all these tires piled up, well, it addresses that.
okay.
And it addresses fines and so on and so forth. So it's not strictly for transfer stations or whatever.
right,
It's
right,
for the whole
right.
environment and
Right.
whatnot,
right.
so. But if anybody if you can't make that meeting, if you've got anything that you'd like to highlight, he welcomes, if you wanna send it to him, he said, so if you have anything you'd like me to relay, he said, fire away, so you can send it to him and,
Well, Do we wanna react to any of this, or just let them answer to us? I mean, I just as soon say, hey, listen, we got a plan on, as far as that part goes. I mean, if you can add something else, I mean, we have an answer. I'm not saying that they're gonna accept, or anyone's,
But, I mean, the other meeting I went to, Henry, you know, it's just that you had input, it was back.
right, well,
some-
that's what I'm trying to say, is that way, I'm not saying that, you know, that or else, I'm saying that
Yeah,
we're sending the message,
yeah.
Well, I think,
that we do have a plan.
well, in fact, we can give them a copy of, you know, we have to write the plan for the state, we
Yeah.
put it in, and we're certified for doing it that way. So we could say, here's what we're doing now, but the real question is they're gonna leverage us to do something different. What's our response to that? It's where it's at. I think the way, if we were gonna send anything, what we should be able to send is that we feel that we should continue to be able to accumulate the stuff in the manner that we do and let the haulers separate. Very simple statement, but that's the way a small municipality should handle it versus getting into this big,
Right at this point, I don't think you need to respond
At all.
at all, no.
Yeah, because I think we have to see what comes out of the meeting.
yeah.
You still gotta see what comes out, cause they haven't totally responded to what happened in the last meeting and the concerns that came up. And I think that's Tam, he seems to be ahead of the curve on this stuff and he knows what's coming.
There's
and,
no question.
You know,
So let's see what the meeting brings and.
okay, now, we did discuss the possibility of purchasing a backhoe. I don't know if you wanna pursue that. If you do, the auction is the 26th. There's 4 units there that are possibilities, from 2003 to 2005. I talked to the treasurer and she can, at the board's request, could make a check available if so requested, not to exceed certain amount of money on such and such a day. I mean, if this happens, I would, personally, I'd like at least 1 or 2 board members to go with me.
When's this auction?
The 26th,
Of this month,
yes,
What day of the week is that?
Saturday.
it's on Saturday. I mean, I know that Ronnie and Henry both got experience
Well-
in that, but I didn't, you know, if somebody else.
Graduation's coming up, I don't know when they are, on the weekend, Saturdays.
Ron, you go in.
I'll go with them. I can put up on them, it ain't that far.
Is that a motion that you?
Yeah, I don't even think I need, or I don't know, do you need a motion?
Well, we need a motion to say how much money and then who's gonna go with him.
Well, oh, okay.
And I don't know. if-
Well,
I would.
yeah,
Not-
I
not
make a
to
motion, we
exceed-
give him $500.
Okay, I got it.
I think
He won't even be able to buy a tire, but go ahead. We know you like to
think we
keep
did.
things low cost.
If I recall, now, and then shut me off, okay. I recall that we discussed this once before, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think we came up with, like 25,000 to 30,000, or was it 25 to 35? I don't quite got,
35.
or 35, 25 to 35?
I think so.
So, okay.
So is
So,
that- make your motion.
I don't wanna,
Well,
I wanna hear.
Basically, I guess
well,
what the motion that I think needs to be said is that they request.
not to exceed.
They request the treasurer to provide this check not to exceed that amount of money
35.
Okay.
for that day on anticipation of possibly buying a
And
back.
I'm gonna ask Cap, but you know, I don't wanna, 35, the number that I mean, is that the number, or where are we going? Somebody say something,
Well, I think that's.
That's what we talked before,
We
so
already
I'm-
talked about that, so.
Ron, what do you think?
Well,
Or
it seems
you,
a shame
yeah.
to go all the way down there to
Well,
that
just
auction and you find
Be
something
short-
that's really
be
nice
shortchanged.
and you need 37 to buy it and you're
Well-
only
well-
allowed 35.
Well, let me
That's
tell,
close.
let me make a statement. Basically, the transfer equipment fund,
Ju-
318 was the
I
number.
don't know if you want
No, but I
Just so
mean-
you know how much money you have in the equipment fund
okay, go ahead.
for the transfer station, you have $81,000 there.
to up in here.
All right.
I mean, I don't have.
So 35,000 you have
Okay.
with no trouble.
With no trouble. Well, I just want somebody,
No, but what I'm saying is if it,
well,
we could-
I'm sure that,
sure you're not gonna
these,
go down here and-
old fives, what's that make them, 9 years old. So I'm sure that, you better not spend any more than $45,000.
Oh, no,
I mean,
no,
geez,
no,
you know, so, well, that's my point.
Based on my experience, we shouldn't get up there. And
But I do agree with you. Let's not say 35 and it's clean.
Yeah, then
It's
they
a
turn
low
around, you got it
hours,
for 38 or
age
40.
doesn't-
because they're
So,
Because-
now,
Low
listen,
hours.
if this motion is for, the transfer station, and we've got a selectman that's gonna go. So I need somebody to tell me what to say.
Well, I don't
I
know,
mean-
now you could push it up to maybe 40, but
I tell you
and that
what,
would be the absolute max. It ain't like, the only thing would be a
no, I
shame
just want to
would
be
if
for
you
sure,
lost it.
and I agree with
They had a
Ronnie.
nice one there,
okay,
nice
because you
low
have
hour.
81, I would say,
you know.
I would even make it at 50, and I would say at the discretion of our selectmen, we want to try and keep that within the, in HAP, want to keep it within,
We're not gonna go that high anyway.
No, I
that's
know.
right, but that gives you, you know, if somebody, you go down and you find one has very low
I mean-
hours and.
you
I mean,
know.
I trust you guys, though. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't make the motion.
And
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
and
so.
you know, until you get there, you know, like
What you got?
You
We
might
got
not
some
buy
pictures
anything.
of, you know, there's one, it's an 03, low hours on it, it looks pretty good. But you don't really know until you get there. And we could
I
come
mean, I
back
haven't
with
priced any, so I'm out in
nothing,
La La Land, you know what I mean?
I haven't priced any of that stuff.
so.
Don't deal with that.
So other than that, you know, I don't know if the treasurer needs something tweaked a little bit more, but she did tell me that she could satisfy, because their terms are, you gotta have a letter, from the bank saying that you can,
Certified check.
your check will be good and whatnot, but she said she could handle that.
Well,
Well, since we had a discussion, I'm gonna back up, and I'm gonna ask, Ronnie, what would make him feel comfortable, going to this auction?
traveling all that way.
That's right.
The only thing I'm saying is if you have enough, we may not buy anything.
Well, I understand
You get
that,
down
Ronnie,
there,
so
and I mean,
just
if
put-
everything is overpriced, you got a high bidding crowd or whatever, we ain't gonna buy nothing.
That's right.
But if you,
I'm not
if
giving
we
up.
miss by $1,000,
Ron,
that's
I'm
gonna
not giving
be a
up
shame.
the you are, so that's why I'm pushing it over to you. I mean, I'm gonna make the motion, so, but, do you want, how much you want? You want $50,000? That was recommended from a chair.
I don't think we need that much.
I don't
Okay,
think you
fine.
need that much either.
You tell me something, 40.
There's no way
Is
that,
40 gonna be all right?
yeah,
Okay,
40
very good. I move for $40,000,
Based on-
be available to use
based on
if you
my-
see so fit.
Yeah, based on my
Through
experience.
through our treasurer doing the proper
Yeah, that's right,
paperwork.
doing the paperwork. Fair enough?
Yeah.
I want this to happen if it's possible, and I'm sure that they know,
Yeah, we're authorizing our treasurer
Hap
to do the
knows that there's
paperwork.
other
and-
auctions, so it isn't something that he has to buy that day.
That's
No.
right.
And
That's
that's,
two things you've done. You've authorized the treasurer and you've authorized these two.
That's
people.
correct,
Okay.
to go,
With your motion.
with the motion, yeah, that's right.
Let the motion go.
did you,
No, let the motion go.
okay,
Need a second.
because there's
You
nothing,
second
No, I didn't second it.
I'm not gonna second it, I'm going.
it.
So?
You're gonna spend the money.
I'm going.
He's gonna spend the money.
So
You don't wanna second it?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion on this?
Yes.
Go ahead.
What are we doing with the old backhoe?
What old
based on
backhoe?
the
We don't have one.
discussion, based on,
There's a backhoe at the transfer station,
Yeah.
right?
Just a
Right.
road crews backhoe.
Right?
Yeah,
What-
50%
Does
of it.
that go back to them, or, well, 50%?
that was,
Here we go.
here's the real answer, it depends on you guys. I think what was discussed is for that to be like a backup machine. And maybe it would cut down on travel, but
It makes perfect sense to take the town crew, the road crew, to take that machine and bring it down and put it in that warehouse
Oh, it
in
is?
Pownal, down North Pownal.
what's that?
And use it the low.
It is.
That makes perfect sense, because they
We're
would
just-
use it down there.
Whose
Yeah.
backhoe is this?
It was,
Both parties?
it was bought by both parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the best interest to the town would be to turn it to, because this was discussed a couple weeks ago, to turn it to the road department. And it was advised that we would move that to North Pownal
To the
to the
warehouse.
warehouse,
Sure.
instead of running our other machines up and down the highway, because we have a building there, we have the
Well-
stand there, and that makes sense to me.
Well, we heard how many hours were on the machine that sits over there today,
That's right,
and it's a lot.
and it's a lot, that's right. That's
So-
right. There's
Okay, that was
12,000
my
hours
only-
supposedly on that.
That's my
I
only
mean,
question.
the only input I would have there
You
is,
have a, just
My
move it
only-
that, with-
The
so
o-
we're
the o-
solving.
The only thing,
an
the only
issue,
thing that I
think.
would say is that other backhoes are backups for the transfer station as well as they've been backup for the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Because if say you buy something
Absolutely.
that breaks, we gotta have a backup. But you
And
gotta
if-
be clear in how you move it around, that
Yeah.
can be used as a backup.
And if the road department doesn't want it, I'm more than willing to say, hey, I guess, transfer station's got a backup.
or you could
Okay.
sell it.
No, I think, they've always
And then we'll
shared,
deal-
they've
no.
always shared and backed up.
I,
I don't have
so,
a,
but anyways, no, I think
But
I think that's a good move.
no confusions.
I mean, that was brought up 2 weeks ago, and I think that is a super good move.
Okay.
Okay.
And like I say, Ronnie mentioned already, we may not buy anything.
That's right, but we're working towards that,
Yeah.
so that's all we
And
need
it's
to know.
just, it's better that we can do it on our own time rather than get in a situation
Where, that's right. No, I think that's great. I really do. I really do.
That it?
That's it.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, okay. Okay.
The only thing is, if it's not clear enough for Alan, we may have to come back and get it clarified.
Well, whatever.
If you
Or
want.
maybe
Well,
we have.
we've authorized her to do whatever paperwork
Okay,
necessary.
or we'll maybe have to sign it with her or something. I don't know. We'll figure that
I'll
out.
take a motion if a member of the board needs to assign it, that they do it when she has it
I
ready.
move that if anybody needs to sign it, Ronnie will sign it, for us.
Okay,
Okay, he's the one that's going.
yep, get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. There, that way there, nobody has to hunt anybody down.
And dinner is not included.
Take that out
Pack
of your
of
way.
lunch?
You learned that from Ronnie.
I've been sitting next to him long enough.
It's wearing off, you say.
Oh, I think I'm moving to that side of the table.
Okay, guys, moving on. Kate,
Good.
Yes.
come on up.
Kate Warner from Trust for Public Land and William Dale, one of the landowners of the parcel you described 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
So the Trust for Public Land is working with the Green Mountain National Forest to acquire 351 acres in Stamford, Vermont, which includes a mile of the Appalachian Trail, which makes it a very high priority for Green Mountain National Forest. This will also give road access
Yeah, I think I got one down in the summer.
to the
yeah, I wasn't here, she might have been here.
Oh, you weren't here.
I wasn't
Okay,
here
go
for
ahead.
this.
Sorry.
Okay,
We'll give road access to the National Forest to about 500 acres in Pownal that they currently do not have any access to on the east side of Broad Brook. This also includes the Seth Warner Shelter, which is the southernmost Appalachian Trail shelter in the state, and it includes the water source for that shelter, which makes it all high priority acquisition for both the National Park Service, the Green Mountain Club, Green Mountain National Forest, and the Trust for Public Land. These parcels were put up for auction by the city of North Adams in November, and we moved in with a interim buyer to get them off the market until we could transfer them to Green Mountain National Forest. The town of Sanford has approved and supports this acquisition. And we discovered that the northernmost parcel in Stanford has a camp encroachment on it that is owned by the adjoining landowners in Pownal. It's about, I think, 60 feet over the town line, and we cannot transfer the property to Green Mountain National Forest until that building is removed. So we approached the landowners of the parcel in Pownal to explore different options with them about what to do with the camp, and we've come to the conclusion that the best option would be for them to take down the camp and also sell their land, which is empty, to Green Mountain National Forest. So we are coming to the select board for your support of this acquisition. Vermont is the only state in the country that requires town approval of national forest acquisitions as a policy, not as a law. So we, last time we were here, the select board members had a request to hear directly from the camp owner or the landowners. So I brought Bill Gale, who's representing the other 5 landowners, to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry I don't know everyone's name.
Henry Strohmeyer.
Billy Gale.
Rich Ryder.
Hi, thanks. I appreciate it. The reason I didn't want to write you a letter, quite frankly, is because it's not very, very good etiquette for someone who has land in your town. And I didn't think it would be, I didn't think it would be as important to you to hear what I had to say in a letter as it is to come here.
Okay.
I'm from Cheshire, I'm from a small town, so I know how it is when, we have a lot of state land. And we have some federal land because the Appalachian Trail runs behind my house, which joins the Long Trail. And I know how it is when federal and state agencies come in and they acquire land, and it's a difficult thing. I will tell you that I represent the other people. They pretty much told me, Billy, you know what we want, you know how we want to do it. We've owned that land for a long time. We bought it from Kelly Lumber. We've hunted up there. We had magnificent times up there. There's a lot of memories up there that are never going to be, always going to be with us. But it's at this point where these people are older. They're in their upper 70s. It's a very difficult place to access. They're not hunting as much as they used to. They're certainly not walking as much as they used to. And we sat down and we talked about, as a group, how we would like to handle our land. And we would respectfully request that we have the opportunity to look into every option that we have, and one of them is through public trust. I will tell you that I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not affiliated with any of them. I'm here on my own with the owner's consent. We've paid our taxes for many years. We don't know if this is going to work out. They've been very professional with us, however, I'd like to tell you that, and we appreciated that. And that's why I wanted to come here, to be professional with you. We have the 37 plus or minus acres, as you see on the deed, and one of our major options at this point is to move forward and try to have public trust acquire the land from us, and then Green Mountain acquire it from public trust. And at this point, without getting any, I can answer any questions you'd like, we would really like you to consider that as one of our options, and we'd like to explore other options, but that's one of our major options right now. We don't have a buyer, we don't have anyone in place. No one's ever come up to us and said we'd like to buy that land. It is way out there, and that's why we liked it, and that's why we owned it for so long. So I'm here today, without putting something in writing, to ask for your approval if we were to move in that direction.
Well, if I may, again, my name is Rich. I think after some discussion, I was the one that had asked for some type of consent and owner's wishes. For some reason, I'm big on having a tangible piece of something that can go in the town records that says, I hereby, with a list of names, these are our wishes. And I do appreciate you coming here tonight. I think it's a great thing. And I'm not against this, personally, okay? But Bill, do you own this piece of land?
6 of us.
6 of you, and
Bill Brissett.
I'm speaking
wanna know the names?
well, I'm speaking of one of 6, and I trust you. I mean, I have no reason not to, but my gut still says that I would like to have something tangible by all parties involved that we could have in public record.
No problem.
That says we all agree with this, dated, signed, possibly notarized even, so that as a select board, we're doing the right thing by the people that own the land. That is my only,
I understand.
I don't have a problem with any of this. I really don't. Okay? But that's my feeling on it.
I'd like to say something on that. I think, well, I inspired the movement that you be here, or not you be here, but the government didn't take it unlawfully. I'm the guy that said, look, I'm for private land. I love private land. And I think it's your land, you should be able to do what you want with it. And if somebody came on my land and told me that my camp was on their property, I'd ask them, well, whose laws do we go by? Because in the state of Vermont, how long has the camp been there?
Over 40 years.
Okay. If it's been there over 10 years, it's your property. That's adverse possession. So that's something that I would say. That's a state law. Now, I don't know what, I'm just giving my feelings. I've seen people snowballed.
Right.
And, this thing about the taxes. They give a stipend. They don't pay taxes. So what I'm saying is, if you people want to sell, you want that to go that way or whatever, I don't care. But I do care if you've been browbeaten into it.
And
I don't like
appreciate
that idea.
Thank you very much. And I wasn't here, and Kate has been open and honest with me that there was a gentleman here, and it must have been you, who, as far as private ownership, and I own a lot of land in Cheshire, and I am fully in support of that. Believe me, private ownership trumps everything else, in my
But-
opinion.
Go
Can
ahead.
I make a point? You're totally correct about the adverse possession, but that doesn't apply when land is owned by a municipality. So this land was owned by the city of North Adams for 100 years. So no matter how long a camp was on city land, that isn't applicable for municipal owned property. It is for private
Okay,
land.
I'd like to say one more statement then in that fact. I don't think this camp grew there. So if I bought a piece of land, I'm just speaking as a landowner type guy. If I bought a piece of land, somebody showed me where it was or whatever, or I had it surveyed, or no matter. They say, well, look, you own here and here and here. I wouldn't build a camp on somebody else's land.
They didn't-
I'd build it on my own
They
land.
didn't do it on purpose. It was
Oh,
probably.
so see, but another surveyor may say, hey, look, you know what? You started at the wrong point.
Okay.
We got it surveyed.
You did. You got it surveyed. So if you got a different surveyor, what I'm saying, I could show you a piece of property here in Pownal that's off by over 40 feet, the wrong direction. The guy started at the wrong end. He started from the brook. Brooks move. He had nothing really to go by. A man with a GPS brought it out and said, look, that's way off.
Henry, you have to say something? Go ahead.
Well, I guess, just to correct, one statement. There was one person, well, there wasn't, one person, there was two. There
Yeah,
was
Henry
Ronnie
agreed with
and-
me
I
100%.
mean, I
That's
didn't,
great.
oh, you
I
follow?
appreciate it too.
Okay, and, that, I opposed the sale 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and I still stand the same. I haven't changed at all. I don't wanna stop a sale for a landowner. What I would like to do is help someone find a buyer for it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
that's
gonna make a
Go, no,
statement.
use people can go.
Because he brought up
because
8 years ago. Was it that long
I
ago?
don't, it's a long time. I
A
don't
long
know
time.
when, but this
I-
other
I-
land,
I worked with
And
Vermont
I
Land
lost.
Trust and others to
I
see
oppose.
that a lot of land was purchased by the National Forest. A lot of promises I thought were made to us that have not been kept. And that sort of gets me a little upset with any of the federal land or stuff now. The bottom line was they were supposed to work with the ATV clubs and other things so that they could have trails in and out of these places and use this land for public use. And that's why I fought so hard and thought it was the right thing to do. The concern I have is, I heard you say that
Excuse me.
by purchasing this land, you will now have road access to some land that you couldn't before because of the brook. Is this road access gonna be available to the public in any way?
No.
All of,
I'll let her answer.
No. I already know it.
this is, by the Green Mountain National Forest Plan, would be zoned a diverse backcountry, which includes backcountry uses, from hiking up to motorized use. So I do not know the so the road access is Risky Ranch Road, and there currently is a forest management road that goes west across the parcel. I do not know what happens once it reaches the Pownal Stanford line. I haven't gone into that part of the property. I'd have to get some information from the forester on where it ends up. I think it just stops, from what I understand. I don't think there's a trail network over on the east side of Broad Brook. The Sucker Pond Road, which is how you access these parcels up here, currently, they plan on continuing to have snowmobiles use. I don't know, the ATV planning is part of the whole management plan process that they're working through right now, the south of Route 9, which I think they met with you about a couple months ago.
Well, wasn't here, so I don't know.
Okay.
I guess we didn't get this before. Well, if they're gonna do motorized use of this property, then I'm okay.
They're
with
not
that.
talking motorized, Nelson. They're talking snowmobile.
So that's,
That's
No.
not motorized as far as I'm
I
concerned.
was gonna say, I want something in writing from them that talks about how they're gonna work with and do this, because last time we didn't do that. We didn't get anything in writing.
Okay.
Well,
May
I
may
opposed
I-
it, and I spent a lot of time last time, excuse me for breaking, because my feelings here go strong. And you are absolutely right when you're saying that there was a whole lot of promises made, and there's no question. My thoughts and dreams, I lost. Okay, that's all. Which is the way things go. I mean, I'm not.
Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose.
Well, it's just that I hunted this area in my younger days of growing up. I drove an old Model A pickup up in there, and I went hunting. Oh, I'm reminiscing.
You still got a camp
No,
up
what-
there, don't you, in County?
Lower, but
Yeah.
all right. But so I'm reminiscing. But with that said, and if you look at this map, I mean, I understand there's not much left.
It is one of the deepest
But with
privately owned.
Yeah, but you
land.
have a very unique
Yes, we
piece
do.
of property,
We absolutely do.
And you have
and I'm
access.
proud that you have
You
it.
do have a right of way
That
to
we
it.
own it,
And
too.
you have access?
We do not have ATV access. We have an option to, well, if you talk to my uncle, who's older than I do, well, older than myself.
Oh,
and
okay.
he's
I
old
understand.
school,
Yeah.
He says, yeah, we have access, and he means we can. But I don't, I'm not, when we go up there, if you have your four-wheeler out, you're in trouble. And as a landowner who borders over 6,800 acres of state land that was acquired after I owned my property and they shut it off to motorcycles and ATVs, couldn't agree with you more. That is the most frustrating thing I
Dirt
ever had
biked,
in my life.
all that. When
I
I was a kid.
understand
Yeah,
that,
okay.
totally.
Can I jump in here, Kate? You have a time slot on this, correct?
Yes, we do.
And what is that?
Well, the Green Mountain Forest will be meeting with the governor in June, so we need to have it by then. But we have a tighter timeline now with them obligating the money. There's a lot of steps, appraisals, environmental phase 1 surveys that need to happen before they obligate the money before the end of their fiscal year, so the funding doesn't get taken back.
I want to play best case, worst case scenario.
Okay.
Okay. I sit on the fence this way. A few people own the land. and this is your wishes. I'm not here to dictate to you what to do with it. Okay. Worst case scenario, board votes it down. Now what?
They will continue to own the land, but they will need to get rid of the camp.
And it'll be.
And everything on Sanford line will go to Green Mountain National Forest, and they will have a.
No eminent domain thing here,
No, no,
nothing like that. This is just gonna be retained by the 6 individuals, 5 individuals, and they can't do a darn thing with it.
They can move their camp over to
Right,
their parcel.
or tear it down.
Or tear it down, and they can build a camp on their parcel.
They still have it right away.
Yeah,
What-
and they have a right of way across.
So you also could put that
They
up
have a-
if you wanted to. If you didn't want to keep it, you put it up and sell it to anybody.
We could. And moving it is
And
one
that's
of the
what freedom
options we're
is.
looking at.
And I'm still in the freedom.
I just come here because if it's going to be shot down, then I'm not gonna be moving or working with my guys to figure out what we're gonna do with it.
Well,
And I'm just
You know what I
trying,
mean?
I'm just
I
trying
would
to
really,
get a feel
I
for
would-
this.
I'll be honest.
Excuse me, just a minute, Henry.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a feel for this so that everybody understands everybody's hand here. And like I said, I think you know how I stand on it. If this is what you want to do with your land, who am I to tell you differently? Do what you want with it, but as Ronnie said, if it does get shot down by the board, you move the camp, you tear it down, you put a for sale, so you put an ad in the paper, sell it anyhow. You know, I know that's not the right way you guys want to go.
I
they
just
can
wanna
keep their
clarify
property.
that.
You couldn't-
Do what
That's,
you want.
didn't
this
say-
is
you-
one
you
option.
didn't say that,
Right.
did
That's
you?
right, I did not say that.
Okay.
Oh,
This
okay.
is one
Very good.
option,
Thank
and
you.
because of the time frame, I wanted to be able to not, I didn't want this not to be an option because of a time frame.
Okay.
So we are working with them. They're working hard with us. It's not an agreement yet, sir. It's not an agreement.
Oh, okay. I wanted, that's right, that's what I heard, but
Yep.
my hearing isn't as good as
But
it
we
used to
do,
be.
we do thank you for coming and telling us
But,
that.
right. And as far as this parcel goes, there is no doubt in my mind that if you or your family change your mind next year or whenever, that option will still be there for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's my opinion, but,
The option of selling to Green Mountain National Forest, or
Yeah.
option of selling?
no, South and National.
For land
Sell
acquisition.
it anywhere you
No, I
want.
don't think so. Not to the National Forest, but you
Well-
can sell it to anybody you want.
If it's surrounded by it,
Right.
You look at this map, that's why I made that statement.
it's surrounded by it.
I don't
I
think,
understand
I don't think they'll, when that.
might not give you the
when that-
same,
When
but-
that,
but-
when that option,
But the option made it.
that you wish to sell, is there, you will not be denied.
The problem is the money, the funding.
Yeah, I understand, I
Green
understand.
Mountain National Forest hasn't gotten any new acquisition funding, since 2010.
That's
and
great.
We're using, leftover fiscal year 10 money for this acquisition, and all of it is obligated to certain projects. There's not a lot of new federal money coming in for Green Mountain National Forest. So
And-
if they decided they wanted to sell it in 2 years or 5, they might have to wait 5 years or 10 years.
And,
Yeah.
But-
and I'm gonna agree with what you said, that if you come in with the landowners and say, hey, we
Just
want
like I
outta
said,
here.
a
And
notarized
I
letter.
most certainly am not gonna, sing any, sad song about don't do it. If that's your wishes, come on, you
Right,
follow me?
I do, and that's
Okay.
why I
want
think
that clear too, so.
a simple notarized letter
but-
from all
but I'm
parties
not just gonna
involved.
say, hey, listen, this is the,
And if that's your wishes, I do not have a problem saying this is what you.
I'll agree with that. I mean,
And it's
I
on
just want that
record. We
clear.
have a tangible, viable piece of paper on record.
Okay, basically what I'm hearing, I know we're repeating some of the stuff now.
I
Basic-
vote no. There.
My belief is that we don't have enough votes to go either way. It might be tied, it might not be tied, but that's not the issue. The issue, what I'm hearing is that at this time, the board doesn't have the information it's requested in front of them.
Correct.
Okay?
But I do
So-
appreciate you.
So I would say that the board at this time is not ready to make a decision yet, because they don't have that information. And at this time, we thank everybody for coming, but it looks like nothing's gonna happen tonight. If the board's in
breaking my
agreement
heart.
with that,
I just gotta tell you, the only reason I'm here is just to make sure that you guys understand, and if you had any questions to answer them, it is an option that we're looking at.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
I
much.
appreciate
and if it becomes the option you want, and if you come in with a
Come back,
letter with 6 signatures or whatever it is, we're
Yeah.
we're here. But
If not, happy moving.
okay,
Whatever.
And I hope to see you up there hunting this year. Because even if it is, it's open land and anyone can use
Well,
it.
that's right.
an open camp.
It is an open camp and people have been using it.
Okay,
Well, mine is too.
like I say, I know.
Because
Okay,
you-
mine is
you
too.
can't do it
I
the
mean,
other way
why lock it?
because they break it open.
That's right.
So all we do is put a sign there and say, please clean
you
up
either,
after
you
you're
either can
done.
have
Yeah.
the door still there, or you can have no door.
Okay, well,
And-
Thank
and
you.
I have to tell you, please, one more thing. She has been very professional with me.
Oh,
Kate
there-
and her, I'm telling you, it's been nothing but a pleasure, and that's, I wanted to come and let you guys know that too.
okay.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night.
Truck bid. We had some truck bids that we tabled until this week. We went over the garage and did a little tour and looked at things. What is your pleasure at this time to do with these truck bids? Based on, I can start, based on the information I heard at the garage, the equipment that we saw and so forth, and the discussion with the road foreman, stating that he would like to go out to bid again. I would recommend that we thank everybody for the bid that they put in and have a new bid request put together and go out to bid.
Do you want me to make that as a motion?
Yes.
I will make that motion that we put the truck that we are looking to purchase out to bid again.
I personally think, seeing so now you made a motion,
Give me a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
go ahead.
personally
No.
think that we ought to have a better plan. I'm for, if we're gonna purchase a truck, I'd rather see a truck bought as a complete truck.
Okay.
And I honestly, if we're gonna spend that kind of money, maybe we ought to seriously think about a tandem. Because they got a lot more pulling power, and you can bring one trip to North Pownal with sand versus 2, and things like that. So I think we ought to do a little more exploration before we start spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, I think we did a good discussion tonight, and it sounds like we're having one right now. What's your thoughts on that, Henry, with what Ronnie just
Well-
said?
well,
Because I said to go, make a bid to go out. We can make it as you just requested.
Okay. I think that, I got a couple things I'm gonna say. This is a very, I think that, with, our, stay over at, highway department or road department, okay, was very interesting. We went ahead and, took a look at, the truck that they want to pull off, or whatever you want to call that. Now that truck is not new. Come on, I mean, I don't, but it's not
16 to
but
17 years
okay,
old.
but it is not a piece of junk or. If you needed to use it, it could be used still. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's the
Go
truck.
ahead.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
truck we want for our future. Okay, but with that said, I don't think that we have to be in days or minutes in a hurry. I think that we got a new board member coming, whoever that may be. I want this bid to go out. If that, I'm still talking truck,
Yeah.
okay? But I want to get into some real discussion on where our equipment is going. Do we want to buy a truck this year? Do we want to make a plan for in 3 years from now? Because probably that's going to pop right up.
Our road
Come on,
foreman-
there's
our-
a couple other.
Our road foreman said that this one this year, another one in 5 years.
Well,
He was telling you what the plan
okay,
has
that is,
been in
that
place
is,
for
okay,
a long
well,
time.
let's get that plan on the table.
All right. Yeah, because there's a plan there. What you need to do is catch up where it is. today.
Where is it?
The bottom line, well,
Where is it?
if we go back in our minutes of a meeting back in whenever it was, 1994, we said every 5 years we'd be buying a truck, and that was in our minutes.
Well,
And then we were going to buy a grader, every 20 years? That we had put together a plan, and
Yeah.
we've been following that plan for at least close to 20 years.
That's fine, but, you know what? When that plan was first put together, the economy was different.
The economy was different, and we
I
were,
mean, it was different. And I mean, it was different in the way of, our people paying for it.
I agree, but back then, we looked at it and we were paying
Okay,
80,000 a
now-
year or close to
now-
in maintenance, and I don't want to get there again because our people pay for that
Now,
too.
I'll-
They pay for that.
Now, here's what I'll do, just so that, I can answer some of your concerns. First thing I done when I got there, I climbed up in the cab, and I said, how many miles is on this? And there was 75,000, a few hundred. Okay? That comes out to approximately 5,000 miles a year. Now, I don't know what that truck costed, new, but I think it was somewhere around 65,000.
I can't remember. It's
Okay,
probably close.
Okay, I mean, and that was some serious money. I mean, it was,
Oh,
same
back
as
then?
today. I mean,
Oh, it was
it's
serious
always
money.
serious money. Now, with that said, now, there's not any more highways out there today than there was when that truck was bought. Is there?
Yes.
Oh,
We took over West Meadow and we took over a couple others. So yes, we did put more mileage in.
okay, good enough. And that was, consisted of how many miles? 2. Okay.
Probably a little more than
Now-
that, but about 2.5.
Okay.
You asked the question,
I
you got
just
the
want to
answer.
clarify some of this, the statements you thought, that's the only reason I said
Yeah, it's
that.
about 4%.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you want to look
Okay,
at it?
all right. Well, at 5,000 miles a year or in that neighborhood, and I know that a truck that's coming on board, so now there's no way you're gonna go ahead and change a truck that you buy, every 5 years. I mean, we have to take a look at a truck, the same story, 12, 15 years down the road. And as far as our pit over there goes, I don't know how many years the town has owned it now, but a lot of material has come out of there, and the future of that gravel pit is going the other way. So we have to start looking at purchasing if it's on the other side of town material. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that we should be discussing as far as the highway department and spending $150,000.
Yep.
Well,
Now,
Okay.
be aware what you just said about buying trucks every 12 or 15 years. The one we're replacing now is 17. The one he's talking about in 5 years from now will be close to 17 years.
That's
And
fine.
the next one would be the same because
Well,
we have like 3
I'm
trucks.
using your
over-
5 years. I'm not.
If
I'm
you-
not using what we ended up with.
Yeah. If you look at how you rotate through the trucks, though, that's what you're doing. You're
Okay.
putting lots of years on each truck.
That's right.
Now, when you got in the truck, did you push on the clutch or the brake?
Listen, I did not
the-
start it.
No, because the dash has a tendency to fall in your lap almost.
Well, I don't think it's. I didn't. When I got up in there, nothing moved. So,
Why?
yeah, I mean, nothing moved. No,
Well-
I probably overlooked that. I'm sorry, but.
Yeah,
but,
well, the body is
well,
rotting
okay.
off of it. The cab is rotting off of it,
Okay.
is what I should say,
Okay.
because the frame.
Now, I'm not. I didn't tell you to keep it.
We didn't say you had to put another 5, 6 years on it.
No, I didn't say
That is
that.
the
I
thing.
didn't, did I say, I didn't say that I didn't say not to do this deal. I'm saying, if we're gonna spend this kind of money this time around, let's just be for sure that, we get the best buck for the town. That's,
Oh, yeah.
other than that.
Well, that's why when Ronnie spoke about tandem and some other things, I'm all for discussing what would be the appropriate truck to replace something that is probably spent at this time.
Okay.
but the real question is, you know, that's the discussion I see, at this point, because, you know, our road foreman has come in and said he needs a truck, and, we went over and looked, and it certainly looks
Well,
like
I'm not
the
denying.
truck, it needs to be replaced. The question is, what do we replace it with? And I'm wide open for having a discussion on that.
Okay.
Because the bids
Sure.
we got didn't meet the requirements of what he wants, we were told. So the first motion, and I think we should make, is that we thank everybody for bidding, but basically refuse all bids at this point. Because that needs to get out of the way. We can't have these bids sitting in front
Oh,
of us.
no, that's fine,
Okay?
that's fine,
So, I don't
fine.
remember what your motion was.
Go
I,
out to bid.
yeah, to go out to
Yeah.
bid again.
Okay, let's,
To not accept, do I have to put not accept any of the bids that were submitted to?
yeah, well, we can, you can withdraw your motion, you can withdraw
No,
with it, if you wish, or we can stay with the
I didn't
motion.
make a motion.
You seconded it.
Second.
Oh, I second, yeah, I know, but I.
Can we
okay.
just take
For
your
discussion.
motions back and start over?
Yep,
Yeah.
I rescind my motion.
I was gonna say, and you rescind the second.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so we,
I second
let's
to
take,
discuss it.
let's have the motion to basically deny all bids at this point, is what you're gonna do.
Make a motion that we deny all bids for the purchase of a new truck for
And
the,
thank everybody for
Second.
bidding.
yes.
Okay. Everybody,
Perfect.
if anybody want to discuss that, or do we just vote on that? You want to discuss on this one? All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Let's get that one out of the way. Now to the discussion on whether to go out to bid for a new truck.
I think that we ought to take and get some information before we start setting people up thinking that they're gonna sell a truck or you're going to do all this stuff. Let's find out exactly what we want. You can't get a price. I can go down to a dealership and get a price for something without making a commitment and having these people all expect you're going to open up a bid and you're going to declare them a winner or whatever and find out what we're getting. I want to see a truck come as a whole truck.
What was the
I don't want to
process?
see a half of one.
Okay, well,
That's the first thing.
I wasn't here for when this last bid went out, the half a truck.
It was a
So I don't know how you
cab
guys
and
derived
chassis
at
thing.
that.
Who needed to die, so I brought that
So,
up
so
already.
I don't know how you derived at that one. But I have no trouble with deriving it. I agree with you. I think if we bid for a truck, we ought to bid for the whole truck.
I think we need to discuss it, really, that's
Yeah.
all.
I think we should take and we should, I mean, I'm sure that you can go down to these dealers and say, hey, look, what, you know, give us a roundabout figure on something. That's all. What's the difference here? If we got, and put in, tell them we got all the specs we ever need. We got specs for everything. We got outside temperature, thermometer, for crying out loud. I think they're all union workers. They won't get out if it's below 10 below or something. I don't know.
Well, the question, and I'll get back, and I do agree with you that we're gonna have another member here shortly. So they could even wait until then to do this, but
Absolutely.
but the thing
What were
really
you
is,
talking about? I mean, I
Well-
don't wanna, listen, I'm not against us purchasing a piece of equipment. I just think that we need to discuss it. On the outside world, away from this table, I'm hearing other towns are purchasing tandem trucks. What kind of tandem truck? I don't have a clue, okay? But I wanna know why they are doing that. I wanna know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, before I say, that's the route I wanna go, I wanna hear what kind of money is the difference between the two. You know,
I agree.
Okay, and at the same time, I wanna hear the argument from our road, foreman,
why we should go one way or the other.
why we should not buy that, or consider that, or not. I just want everybody to say something, so I can figure out, how we wanna go. Now, I don't think that's, I mean, I'm not trying to argue one way or another at the moment.
Here's
I'm trying to get that information,
here's
okay? I really am. I mean, that's where I'm coming from. So, take it from there.
Our road foreman will be in on the 1st of May, is that when he comes normally? If we wait and have him come on the 8th, when's the vote, 6th of May? If we ask him to come a week later for his report, so we can have a full board here on the 8th
Yeah,
and
he can
discuss.
come both times, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, but I think if we were gonna ask him for something specific, we should
Yeah.
say, here's when we want
No,
you here,
that-
here's the information we would like to have you to present us,
I-
or be ready to discuss.
Well, I think he can come on his regular time, scheduled, meeting with us, and then we'll schedule that, hey, on that, on the 8th, you said, on the 8th, we're gonna discuss truck. If that's what you want.
Well, my feeling is this is. why
Or
have
do
him
it all
come-
at once.
Yeah, I would do it all at once. I tell him to come in on the 8th and let's discuss it.
All
You're
right,
gonna
good
have a
enough.
full board,
Well,
and he has time
I'll
to
probably
prepare
have-
himself, 30
You can have
days,
Casey anytime you want.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he'd come anytime, right?
He doesn't have to just come on the 1st of the month.
Well, that's what that's, okay, and I don't,
But I
the
don't
reason
want him
I'm
to
doing.
come, I don't want him to come and present the 4, then have to turn around and come back and present the
Oh, yeah,
5.
I understand that. It makes
So,
perfect
so,
sense
so to me, it makes perfect sense to have him come on the 8th,
So
You know-
let's do that.
Okay,
you know, and then,
all right,
then you
I'll
got.
agree, I'm not gonna argue that part.
Then at that point, he's gonna, he's gonna, well, come on, you like to argue.
I don't care when he comes.
I should just schedule.
I was
him
gonna
when
try to
he's
make it a little
ready.
easier on him, not to bring him in here and, try to talk about, road problems and all the other sort of stuff.
All right,
and
so
then
that's
talk
what
about
we're
truck,
gonna
too.
do then.
We're gonna have
That's
him,
all.
we're gonna have him come in on the 8th.
That's fine.
We'll have him
Good.
come in on the 8th.
I'll-
Okay, and we can talk about that. And at that time, we'll talk about the
Good.
bidding for a truck or not bidding for a truck, or what we need for a truck. Okay. That takes care of the truck bid. Hey, lawn mowing bid. Well, before we do that, let's do the dry hydrant. This guy's been sitting here.
Yeah, yeah.
Been sitting here.
Waited
Lawn
long
mower
enough.
bid.
Yeah.
Fine, I like listening to this.
You can stay afterwards. You
Grab a
don't,
chair,
you don't have to
guy,
run
Either
away.
one, whatever.
You don't have to run away after you. I
Good.
just want to
Good.
make sure that we take you in the
I
process.
don't know if y'all know me, my name's Walt Clark, chief of the Valley Fire Department. I'm looking for a place to put a dry hydrant in down in North Pownal. We have all the water in the world down there, but we have no place to get a truck in to get water. And there's a lot of houses down there. And I have this application for a dry hydrant, and I'm looking in the area of where the old tannery used to be, down through to where the bridge is in that area somewhere, not really sure where. I've talked to Troy Dare, he's in charge of the process of getting a grant for a dry hydrant. And he said if I applied for it, I'd probably have no problem getting it, but the problem is I have to find the spot. He'll come down as an engineer and look, but I need permission slip or a landowner's agreement signed to even process it. And the application has to be in by May 2nd. I'm not saying you have to sign anything now or anything. I'm just bringing it up, saying this is what I'm doing. Hoping the boards is on board with me.
That is on, just point out the area.
Well, I would open it up because we got there's a hydro contract that's put together, and I don't know how that works with what land. But what I would say is, you can go from wherever this side of that hydro plant all the way clear down to the point past the wastewater
I don't know.
along the river.
Okay,
And,
good.
fi-
Oh,
and,
okay,
and
that's
look and
fine.
see, have your engineer look with your vehicle, because there is a road that goes way down there. Just look anywhere along that river and find the spot you want. And
That gives you access, right?
That- as
You know,
long as you can get
easy
access.
But on that note too, there is a berm, if I'm not mistaken, down by the wastewater treatment facility plant that cannot be moved or touched. If I'm not, I could be wrong on
you're
that.
right, you're right, unless it goes blown out by the flood.
Yeah, so there is a finite amount of land, and I don't think you can stretch it all the way down to the wastewater treatment facility.
I don't know what the other end is like. At the other end is.
I don't either. Around the other end of the berm, it's
Yeah.
very possible one could be there. But now you're thinking,
Well, you can go to the other side of the river
You
too.
want it so
If
you
I'm
get there
thinking-
quick, right.
as a fire chief, I need access. How much hose do I have? Where can I reach?
Right.
Where can my tankers get in? How can I shuttle them? So I think all this has to come into play. Am I
Right.
correct?
See, I'm looking for a place where I can put a big truck in there that can I draw at least 1,000 gallons a minute to 1,250 or more.
Well, we
Because
own,
of the outlay of the land down there, I have to have a certain amount of gallonage for the houses that are there. Because it goes by how close they are together. And in that stretch between the post office up through, there's some houses that are pretty tight in there.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
usually like at least 1,000 gallons a minute or more.
But if I'm not mistaken, too, that where the tannery land is, that's pretty steep.
Right. We have took a
Honestly.
truck right in there before, but it takes so much hose to try to draft out of there. And
I'm thinking of going across the river even, and where the pump station is. We own all that,
Right.
down, all the way up through to Dickey too.
You know, yeah. I
There's
mean,
a lot of land on both
Yeah,
sides of
yeah,
that river.
No, no,
we used to get water underneath the bridge. We'd back down in there.
right.
But
I
the way the
remember
river
that.
has changed over the years, the water doesn't really flow that way. You know, we'd have to open it up and make a thing, but you can't put nothing in the water nowadays. The
Yeah.
government won't allow that.
well, my suggestion, if you know, do some exploratory with your engineer. Did you say?
But he won't even come down until I have something signed.
Okay.
That's
well,
the thing.
I
You don't have to do it tonight. I
Right.
can leave it. You guys can talk about it.
I
do
don't-
your
Well,
meeting.
we don't have any trouble.
I don't
Sure,
want
we'll
to-
sign it,
Sure.
as long,
I'm happy
as
there.
long as it's on property that belongs to the town.
Well, that's just
I mean, yeah.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm looking for. Is
That's-
someplace that's
no,
on the town property
Right.
there.
Yeah.
right.
We own both sides of the river, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has to be a place where when there's it isn't going to take it out.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking at towards the dam because there's some kickouts where you can tuck it in there and hide it, and there'd still be enough water flow. Because when it middle of the summer, it does get low. It just can't be on the edge of the river because then you're not going to get no water anyways.
Right. Okay.
Do you have anything that we could have copies of to look at, to read, to, or is this just like a permission?
You can
slip?
take this and read it. You could actually take this whole thing I started filling out
Okay.
if you wanted to take
No.
it, and I could come back and get it at another time. I have no problem with that.
I,
I'm gonna,
Landowner
I'm gonna
agreement. It's a
you're
simple.
gonna move to sign it?
No, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm,
I
I'm
move to
gonna do
sign
it.
it.
I'm gonna.
Period.
Ronnie has
well,
moved to sign. I
Did
get
he?
a second?
Okay. All
I
right.
move to
Second.
sign it.
Okay, now we can continue with our
That's what I was-
discussion.
It's very simple.
Very
Yeah.
okay. To give
Just
him
giving
the,
permission.
and you go
So
on
he can
down
get
and
his
pick your
monies.
spot.
Because
And
he
he can
might
get
go down
money.
there and after I get this and send it in, he might go down there and say, "Well, it's really not feasible for right here."
That's right.
That's
I
right.
just wanted. That's fine. I agree.
Okay, what do we?
Second.
Okay,
You
any
need
further
that?
discussion? Where do we sign
Well,
here?
there's just the whole thing right there. I sign the bottom at the end, but you got to fill out the top piece and.
Well, it says Town Fire Department Representative up there, so two.
That'd be me. I guess I'm the
There you
representative.
go. Well, we can hit,
Excuse me.
Your engineer should check with the, Agency of Natural Resources, because they will tell you where, the treatment plant, the land restrictions are
Okay.
involved, and they'll
Well,
know.
this guy works for the state
You know
anyway,
what,
so
that's
They'll
it's
know
under the
where,
state of Vermont.
where it cannot be
Probably
located.
don't need to.
Right.
You just sign it. Okay. Right.
I've never went for a dry hydrant grant before, so this is sort of new to me too.
Okay.
But I'm trying to do it the right way and go through the right channels.
Yep.
That way
Well,
we're
that's a
all.
good thing.
And I really need to get water in North Pownal.
Mhm.
It's just a shame we have all that water there and I just
Sign
can't
on the
access
top,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
enough. We
absolutely.
need
we
to get
sign,
that.
we sign.
We need
the-
that down in here.
Yeah, signature landowner.
Okay.
That's us, that's
Yeah.
all we need to sign. Okay, Linda, I'm gonna sign this and you can,
Yeah.
I put Town of Pownal and Pownal, but you need to write the fire department name and things of that nature, then give it to them. Okay, any further discussion? Basically, it says signature landowner, property manager, that's, I'm gonna,
Could I? Would you, Walt, come back after your findings and just
Yeah,
let
I
the
would
board
love
know?
to, yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah.
You know, just to let us know where
Because
and,
I'll get this
and
sent
when
in.
and
Um,
okay.
yeah, so we can have it for our
probably next
record.
week,
Yeah.
I gotta do some more research and get some prices on stuff and put it down on the paper and
Great.
of material and stuff.
Good luck with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 That's good.
You want
Pass that
copies
down.
of that made? And I can
Yeah,
pick it
well,
up
Linda-
tomorrow. I
Linda
don't
will
have to pick
fill-
it up tonight, I can pick it up
Linda will
tomorrow or
fill out the
something.
rest of
good.
it, then
We'll
you
get
can pick it
filled
up.
out.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
When
Good.
would be convenient for you, Linda? Okay, I'll stop in at some point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Very
Walt.
good.
Thank you. Appreciate
Lawn
working with you.
mowing bits.
Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, while you guys were over there, I opened up the bids and did what I could to tabulate them for you so you could move a little bit quicker here. This printout is
In a folder.
approximately 29 mows for the time period that we're talking about based on
Okay,
so we're looking 29, 30 mows, something like that.
okay. All
The
based on
first one
weather.
we'll start with is the primary mows. Here's your bids.
Can I
I'm gonna pass this down to Nelson.
Pass
That's
that down.
pretty much a
Me.
tabulation. The best I can figure out. You know, sometimes when you're putting these bids out, you think they're pretty crystal clear, and the way some of them come back, you'll kind of shake your head.
He had cleanup on there, didn't he? 635 for both.
I got one of those.
You got it.
What's that? 44 or?
Includes fire pond 4 times
Oh,
in total.
Okay,
They get them all different.
okay. So 4 times, and this is how much each
Yeah,
mow?
it's included.
Okay. Okay, that's all, yeah.
So this one's 4 times, it's right about 200. 150 for the mowing. One down here gets 75.
Who do we have now? In complaint? Okay. So there's 4 times. We'll look at it. You almost,
But then it will, yeah, kind of. Yeah, there's a printout there of the total of what it cost last year.
okay. Yep, this is that.
So we're gonna cut it back. There's gonna take like 2 more off,
Okay.
which is the current printout. I think I was going on.
Oh,
What's the
okay,
name
it's-
on that second
it was
one?
talking about there was sign there. The thing that's floating
Yeah,
around.
that's it right there.
Rats.
Okay. Why don't you go make some copies of that? Can we just give it to them, then I'll have the same information in front of them that I. And is gonna make copies of the actual, she has the bids written out and what they are for each person. So we'll provide you with a copy of it, so you'll have them all.
That's good.
This is just me having it in front of me. This is the guy that currently does it.
Yeah. Am I reading that right, that that's, for each mowing?
Yep. For both of them, yep,
Right?
yep.
What am I'm missing something in this bid I don't quite know. Yeah,
First mowing, spring cleanup and repair of grass areas. One time. This is a one-time cost,
that's it.
and then he's gonna charge you that each time for the rest of the year.
For the next 30 or something like that, right?
Yep, yep. They should give you one of those that has that with
Yeah.
this guy's name.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
650, this is that.
yeah. Yeah, and that's, and that one was only for, which one? What did it say? All of them? Carlo?
That's just a thing.
No,
All primary work sites, yep,
both.
12 listed. That's that.
Okay.
That's the primary listed.
Yeah,
And
this is for the cemeteries and et cetera. That's not counting,
It's not
the other.
It's not
Right.
the,
Okay,
not the pump stations.
yeah.
Here's the slips she did. so
Okay,
You have the information from you.
yeah.
Okay. She wrote down what the bids were. Okay, so the cleanups are down on one list and the regular per mowings on the other.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me have that. She changed. What's different on this is they've lessened the number of mows.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there's two less. Where's the pump station?
There's another group of bids. She's
Oh,
asked now.
oh, they're coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
here-
they're gonna keep them
We're gonna
separate?
do 'em.
Okay, all right, so we don't get screwed up.
Right. you got
Okay.
it.
Very good.
We have a tendency
yeah.
to do that.
No, that's fine.
You guys ready for the first one? Okay, these are the primary sites. The town office, Pownal Center, Community Church, Center Street Cemetery, North Pownal Cemetery, North Pownal Little League Field, North Pownal Little League Field at Green Mountain Park, Cemetery at the Racetrack, Cemetery Jackson Crossroad, Gardner Cemetery, North Pownal, Cemetery at Carpenter Hill, Cemetery on Orchard Street, and the former Tannery Building site off Vermont 346 in North Pownal. Okay, bids were Dunright's Lawns and Garden per mow, $1,145, and it says no tennis courts, and 800 with 150 cleanup. Trevor Howard was $635 per mow and $635 for cleanup. Robert Greets was $650 with $600 for cleanup, $650 per mow. What's your, well, before we say that, the person that currently is doing this and has been doing it for the last few years is Trevor Howard, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
Has, well, I'll hold up until you guys make a motion. What's your pleasure?
I make a motion, we go with the lowest bidder,
Well,
Trevor Howard.
I get a second?
I'll
Then we're gonna
I'll
discuss
second,
it. Okay, let's
second it so
discuss
we
it.
can discuss
Okay.
some of this.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not sure what I seconded, to be honest with you.
He seconded, he
Okay,
made a
no,
motion to go with Trevor Howard.
Okay, now, actually, I probably shouldn't have done that. I wanna, just soon would, if I have to, I'll withdraw that, because I got a question.
Well, we can discuss and have a question.
Okay, all right,
You
go
can
ahead.
vote no,
And it's
you
not-
can vote
no,
no if you-
the reason what I've got is,
What's your question?
my question is on the bids, I think only one's got a fire pond in it. Am I right on that or not? Did you notice that, or is it just
That's
me?
down on, with the pump
The
stations, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fire pond was bid out with the pump station.
With the pump stations.
So
We're
he's not on
it
here.
right now.
He's not in this,
He's not in this one, but the next, but there is one that is.
and that will be added to it with the pump station, the fire pond. See, if you look down here,
What am I missing?
if you look here, fire pond, see it? So when we do the pump stations, what you
Oh,
saw in the
okay.
bid is here.
Okay.
For the next thing.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions?
No, that's it. Good enough.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Trevor has got the primary sites by motion of the board. And Linda, you can inform of that, and let's do the next one.
Okay. Which ones are the pumps?
Be aware that you have the information on a sheet in front of you, so what you want to read is to make sure that it's covering all the things you want it to. And then verify the pricing on your slip. And all these people have put their insurance with their bids, so we have that information as well, which was a requirement. So he's this one. It's 4 times with my fire pump. Okay. Okay. Okay, bids. Pump stations, Trevor Howard, and Fire Pond. Fire Pond 4 times a year, 200, each time, 200, is that for the year? $50 each time. And, the mow, $150, spring cleanup, 300. Robert Grates, Fire Pond 4 times, $175, 250 for cleanup. Bruce Martell, $200 for mow. Fire Pond, 45 total for 180 for the year, and 200 for cleanup. Green Mountain, no Fire Pond, 415, no clean. 580 included the cleanup from Green Mountain. Fire Pond only, $75 per occurrence. What's your pleasure?
I understood on Robert Gratz that the 175 included the fire pond 4 times a year,
Okay,
so we understood that.
okay. Reading a motion.
Do they mow them as often as the other stuff? Is it every week?
Pump stations.
Yeah, so that,
Yep.
okay.
Fire ponds are only 4 times a year.
Yes, I
Yeah.
realize that, but I was wondering about the pump station.
Okay. Who's been doing this in the past?
Trevor
Yeah,
Howard,
both. I had both bids, am I correct?
correct, for a period of 3 years now.
What,
He's been
What-
doing it for 3 years.
yeah, what, any complaints?
No,
None, right?
none.
Okay, what's, is he the low bidder?
Figures out to be the lowest bidder in my
He's the lowest bidder,
calculation.
ain't he?
Yeah,
My
when you're done.
calculations it is.
Okay, good enough. That's what I'm seeing here. Okay, I moved to same person.
Second,
How-
You know, Trevor there.
Let's get a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, I'll even,
I second.
is there a discussion?
Yes, go ahead.
And matter of fact, his, bid this time is for even one more item than what it was, I believe, a year ago. The American flags and to put the flags up, it's in this bid and it never was before.
That's right, and clean up around the flagpoles.
Am I
and
correct?
ours. Yep.
Yep, good.
Yeah.
I squawked about that last year.
It's okay.
I might as well put that on, right?
Okay, any other discussion?
Nothing.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Take care of that.
I think that's the end of the business, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. If, the
Motion
motion,
to adjourn.
Second it.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Having fun yet?
Thank you very much.